all of us are eagerly awaiting for the Union Budget 23-24 to be presented by our Honorable Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharamanji on 1st Feb 2023. So, management and faculties of NL Dalmia Institute of Management Studies and Research have put forward a small wish list and expectations which they have from this Union Budget.
The past few years have seen an unprecedented volatility, and India has outperformed most large global economies with a mission to be a $5 trillion economy by 2025, thanks to some very good policy moves by the government. The upcoming budget will undoubtedly be geared towards augmenting the growth of the Indian economy on capex, manufacturing, infrastructure, defense and rural economy. But it also needs to address the challenges faced by the common man and the salaried class as we recover from a global pandemic and tackle the ongoing global slowdown. People are especially pinning their hopes on the upcoming budget to address the issues of unemployment, control inflation, and make essential goods and services more affordable. The salaried class is looking for some cheer on the personal front, hoping that the basic exemption gets enhanced to 5 lakh rupees. We have to wait and watch. But I'm sure with our economy being looked at as an emerging economy, the world is also looking at us. I'm sure India will do well, and the budget, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, the budget should be good for India.
From the recent visit of the Honorable Prime Minister to the Mumbai, I could guess that the government is now thinking on the progression and the development of the country more than the other. So they should also think about the common man, some relaxation on the income tax, and the growth rate should increase and the GDPI should increase. And
there are many expectations from the budget. However, in short, I could say that I'm expecting an increased slab in the tax savings. And one more crucial thing is this home loan interest rates are quite high. So if the government thinks of putting some rebate or some relief in the home loan interest rate, that would bring smiles to many.
Budget 2023, we are sure that it's going to focus on long-term economic development with special emphasis on fiscal discipline as well as fiscal consolidation. I would expect an increase in outlay for healthcare for all, so subsidized healthcare for all, and also incentivizing the renewable energy sector, which would actually aid in long-term development of the economy. On a personal taxation front, I would expect an increase in standard deduction for salaries as well as the exemption limit for long-term capital gains.
As an employed individual, I would suggest, tax deductions of ATC has to be taken up from 1,50,000 to 2,50,000 so that it really gives some relief to the employed individual.
For the upcoming budget, I think I have two major expectations. One is rationalization of GST. So if you see the way government has implemented GST, there are a lot of practical issues when filing of GSTs and regularity in which how many times you're going to file GST, and especially when you're claiming returns, sometimes your returns are not coming back on time. So I think rationalization of GST slabs and ability of getting back your returns when those are filed is one of the biggest expectations I have from the budget. Second is on the education front, there is good policies been written down in national education policy, and we need that in an accelerated manner where a lot of investment from government has to happen in higher education as well. So the allocation on the higher education front has to happen because these are our future, and if you want to become a more developed country, investing in higher education which has employability and innovation that has to happen in future, government has to invest in higher education as well. That are the two main expectations I have from the budget.
Hi, the Union Budget of 2023 is expected to be a landmark budget for India as the country enters its 75th year of independence. The budget is expected to focus on key areas of infrastructure, healthcare, education, rural development, and employment generation. It is also likely to emphasize on the need to increase public spending on these areas while reducing the government's deficit. Additionally, the budget is expected to increase the focus on sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, renewable energy, and digital infrastructure. Specifically, the budget is likely to call for increased public spending in areas such as agricultural research and development, rural infrastructure development, education and skill development, and healthcare.
From this year's budget, I'm expecting some post-retirement benefits and health in something in healthcare. Also looking forward to the most heard news of increasing the tax slab from 2.5 to 5 lakh.
70% of the population in India currently belongs to the youth population. That means in the range of 20 to 30 years, right? So my expectation from the budget is something for the youth. Like government should think on the education loan, for the subsidy of the education, interest should be reduced on the education loan, and also it should think some good policies, it should bring some good policies for employment generation.
I will expect two things from this budget. One, being the senior citizen myself, I will like more income tax benefits for the income of the senior people. And secondly, I think in the area of inflation, which is rising very fast, I feel that the petrol, that is petrol or diesel, the fuel, should be made more affordable. I think the prices of petrol have risen very fast, and it has become very costly to travel by your own vehicle. So basically two expectations: more income tax benefits for senior citizens and reduction in the price of petrol.
My take and expectations of the budget 2023 is that obviously it should be growth oriented, it should be inclusive, and of course it should take care of the inflation. Let's not forget that the middle class is the backbone of the Indian economy. So something has to be done by the finance ministry with regards to the taxes. I would really appreciate if there is a reduction in the taxes, both in terms of direct as indirect, as well as direct as well as indirect, so that there is more empowerment of money to the fellow citizens. Also, a focus should be given on infrastructure, on manufacturing, and when I'm saying manufacturing, specifically the local manufacturing units, which is in sync with the Make in India campaign, as well as the rural economy at large.
2023 will be special because historically pre-election budget have had a populist tone. It is fair to assume that upcoming budget would be continuation of a recent trend. As a market expert, I would appreciate general focus toward fiscal consolidation over medium term to keep investor sentiment bullish toward domestic markets.
Budget is per se a resource allocation exercise, not a revenue creation exercise. But if resources are allocated properly and then execution happens, it can be a great value addition. Having said that, this is the last budget before the election year of 2024. So in this budget, what I expect is finance minister to be growth oriented, without any populist schemes which are running historically, or some of them have been scrapped in recent times or stopped or merged. So they should stay away from the populist measures and try and see to it that fiscal deficit does not go out of the hand.
So my expectations, being a common man, the first thing is that inflation is really continuously increasing. So budget should be more focused towards the controlling of the inflation rate. The housing finance, the rate of interest is really very high in present scenario. It should be controlled. Further, that budget and policies should be more supporting to the small scale industries as well as the small businessmen, which is in present scenario, it is looking like that they are not very happy. So that budget should be more focused towards supporting small SMEs as well as small businessmen should be happy, and they should their business should be more promoted. Further, this budget is normally related to direct taxation. So like a service class person, I definitely wanted that there should be a more relaxation in the income tax slabs. There should be some relaxation in ATC rebate, ATT rebate, and the taxes should be in a more fair form, so that the equal taxes should be come from service class as well as business class, which is really missing in present scenario. The direct tax is mostly paying by the service class because of the TDS system. That should not be. That fair tax should be collected from businessmen as well as service class both.
Okay, from the 2023-24 budget, I would expect the government to, reduce taxes on organizations which support sustainability, particularly organizations which are supporting solar energy, which are supporting lesser green destruction and so on and so forth. Also, government should reduce taxes on organizations which are supporting digital business, which are supporting Internet of Things, machine learning, AI, and so on and so forth, and along with put a lot of effort, stress, and a lot of budget behind infrastructure development, behind digital make in India, digital India, Swachh Bharat, and of course overall infrastructure development. And finally, my little suggestion to Government of India in this budget is reduce your spends on education for the minorities and scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and the quotas there, because it's already 75 years and we know that we have given enough to them. Let them stand there on their own feet now. Okay.
So as you have seen, we have put forward our wish list and expectations together, which is not only for the overall development of economy, but also some relief to the middle class income group. So stay tuned for the Union Budget on 1st Feb 2023.